Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. This week we are going to be working with the Beary Cute stamp set and the Beary Cute punch. For this card I have added in also the, what is the paper called? It is a Walk in the Forest designer series paper. And I've used a couple of different pieces of the designer series paper. If you want, you could take a 5 1/4 by 4 piece and then overlap a 1 1/2 by 4 piece if you wanted to. But I chose to cut the paper up into, what we've got is this is the opposite because this is where I cut the pieces off. We've got a 1 1/2 by 5 1/4 and we've got a 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. So when you put those together, you get 5 1/4 by 4. And I've used the punch. The paper itself coordinates with the punch. Let me just find a piece that coordinates. This one, the bear's the wrong way around, but there is a piece that coordinates. Where's my little pieces? So anyway, there is a piece that coordinates, and I have a piece here, and I'm going to show you how to punch that out. So the paper is absolutely gorgeous. I've used a balmy blue card base standard portrait opening card. I'm going to use the Fern 3D embossing folder as well. And for what you can see of it, it really kind of looks like evergreen in behind. So that's what we're going to do with that. So I've already talked about how I've got my pieces of paper. I'm just going to flat mount those. So we'll just put some adhesive on these ones. If I can advance the adhesive, there we go. And we're going to set this up exactly the same way we'd set up if we were doing a full-size piece of designer series paper in 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to line up so that we are equal all around these 3 edges. And then we are going to do the same thing with this piece, but we're just going to line it up here and just make sure we're lined up. And then that goes down like that. And what it's done is kind of saved you some paper. You've got some more paper to play with elsewhere. I've used the snowflake stamp, this one here, to cut the snowflake. And I just punched it, or just stamped it, and then I cut kind of across the points to make it a star. In this sample, I used the pecan pie to do this greeting, but I think it kind of looks better with the balmy blue, so that's what I've done for this one. I've used 2 of the Stylish Shapes stitched circles to cut these out. So this was kind of plain. You know what I'm like, I need a good folder. So then I just ran it through. Die cut it first and then ran it through the embossing folder. If you emboss it first and then put it through the folder, or if you emboss it first and then put it through the dies, you will flatten your embossing when you die cut it. So always die cut first and then run it through. There we go. So sorry about all the noise with the machine. So this now is embossed, and although it is the Fern 3D folder, really it looks like an evergreen bough when you do it like this. When it's a small space like that, it really does look like an evergreen bough. So we're good with that. This I flat mounted because I'm going to emboss everything else. So just going to pop this on like this. Kind of middle-ish, but a little higher than the middle, just like that. We're going to take our punch and we're going to cut out the bear from the designer series paper like that. And I'm going to keep this piece because there might be somewhere where I want just a little square of paper on something. So we're going to keep that. Just laying this out how I want it to go. This seemed a little bit odd, like it just seemed to float a little bit. So I think I might put the snowflake up like that on this one. But these are all dimensionalized. So I'm just going to need 1 dimensional in the middle of this one. And we're going to do that. And then we're going to dimensionalize the polar bear, pop the polar bear on like that, and then dimensionalize the snowflake and pop the snowflake in. So we've kind of got a grouping of 3. So I'm just going to pop the snowflake in like that. And that is our first card using the Beary Cute bundle with the bear punch. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.